Hey guys, so today, and with this video being the Great Crypto Escape, I'm going to share what my escape plan is and what I think some general escape plans should be when it comes to Qubic. I'm just going to start with some general talk on Qubic and the crypto market in general, and this is going to apply to any coin, any token, or any crypto that you hold. And all the thoughts from this are really going to apply to all different types of cryptos, but I'm going to speak specifically in this video then just about Qubic and my exit plan and thoughts on that. So let's get into it. Yeah, so guys, firstly, I want to talk about the crypto landscape and just thinking of what is going to happen over the next year and predicting what is going to happen over the next year. So just some points, and as usual, I really want to make it clear that I don't think any of these people are the oracle. Anyone that I talk about, I don't think that they're the oracle and they know what is going to happen in the future, and I don't either. But what I'm doing is just gathering some different pieces of information from different people so I can build a conversation around what they're saying and give my points of view. And just the whole idea is to get you thinking about these crypto cycles, and also in the same way get me thinking about the crypto cycles, and just have some thoughts, and just not to get wrecked or tricked during this cycle. So I'm going to start with a really great crypto influencer that I love following called Nagato, and they just said, this is a quote from a typical crypto enthusiast: based on historical data, this bull run will extend far into 2025. And then he says, and I really share this point, historical data from just 15 years and 2 to 3 cycles. Really, it's just 2 cycles of data that we have. What a massive sample size. Plus, are you paying attention to what's happening? Things are different this time around. Connect the dots. And when he talks about what's different this time around, he's talking about the fact that we hit an all-time high already before the halving. We've got the ETFs for Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we've got almost all politicians and political sectors now are pro-Bitcoin right now and pro-crypto. And he said, and remember, your focus should be on making money and not on being right. Don't get attached to your theories. Stay flexible and adapt as the market changes. And a really important statement there, which I want to say is, I'm not attached to a theory. I don't believe that one thing will happen over another. I'm trying to stay open-minded and fluid and adaptable to what happens over time. But the really, really big point here is 2 or 3 cycles, really just 2 cycles, is not a sample size of historical data to predict what's going to happen in this cycle. So we'll talk about that more as we go through this. But then Braver Crypto then made a post and just said, post-2024 US election, massive crypto market correction is likely a given. So basically he's saying, which I think a lot of us would agree with, after the elections, and I think it's going to be around November that they're going to end, you would expect that the market will correct heavily. But let's see. But then he said, personally, I think we will see another massive rally in 2025 after that correction, before the bull market truly goes back into the stables while the bears wake up from hibernation. And this is something that I kind of agree with, and I feel probably could happen. If you look at the last cycle, basically this happened as we got, Bitcoin hit an all-time high, then the market dumped almost into a bear market, and then it shot up again, and we almost got another all-time high. And I could see that happening again during this market. So he said, so in my opinion, first, massive rallies throughout 2024, which that's coming. That's not far off, guys. You just have to be a bit patient for it now. But everyone's pro Bitcoin and pro crypto right now, so those massive rallies are, most likely coming. I never want to say anything with definitively, but they're most likely coming. But massive rallies throughout 2024. Then US November elections mark a local top, possibly mark a top 2, followed by a massive bloodbath correction, because at that time you've got all these people who are going to be, in November, going to be just feeling euphoria, feel like everything's going to blow up for them, and then we're probably going to see a massive correction at that time, followed by another massive rally in 2025, and then finally the real bear sets in. December, by the way, historically usually sucks for the crypto market. Likely will be so again. This aligns with what I'm thinking. Is I was expecting, November to be the top of this cycle, at least of this, give us the local top, and then I could see another run happening through 2025. But there's no guarantees of that. I'll explain later how I'm going to approach that. And then he said likely multiple green markets throughout the year and one massive parabolic one. He's talking about 2025 here. Regardless, smart thing to do is ladder out profits on the way up this year and then reassess. So a really important thought there is always be taking profits. Don't be looking for your 50x or 100x. Be looking, if you can do a 10x, that's incredible if you can do that. But I'll talk about how to approach this anyway as we go on. So then the Gatto went on to say here, bull run top 2024 versus 2025. I said it before and I'll repeat it. I believe this bull market will peak later this year, probably around the presidential elections. But let's assume I'm wrong. Worst case scenario, the run extends well into 2025. So what? Who cares? If I don't spot euphoria, I'll just keep holding until I do. Really important point there is we can spot euphoria and we can see it happening. We can already, and I'll share this in a few slides, we can already see the first phases to set up euphoria happening. So let's see how that goes anyway. But he said, not a big deal. Let's flip the script. You're dead set on the bull run ending in 2025. Will you keep holding your bags even after an eventual euphoria that happens way sooner than you expected? Do you have a specific scenario in which you'll say, okay, I was wrong, this was the top? Or assuming you're wrong, you will simply hold your bags into oblivion. Damn it. You do realize that your game is much riskier than mine, right? I've been burned many times in the past doing the same thing, waiting for the ultimate euphoria, even if I already had a fortune in my hands. I lost multiple six figures in the process. That's precisely why I'm stressing this point. I don't know who will be right or wrong then, but please do this. Set strict criteria that helps you recognize if your plan is off track and adjust swiftly to maximize goals. Don't ride the whole cycle back to square one. That's basically what he's saying. I've been in the same boat here. I've waited for ultimate euphoria. I've lost thousands doing that. I'm not going to do it again. The better plan is to take out profits when you're seeing the market hit peaks. And then if it runs into 2025, hold something for it or adjust and be adaptable as things go. But don't just set your heart on the end of 2025 is going to be the peak, because that's probably where the trick's going to be played. Then Master or Money Tour, the main person that I follow for this information and I really enjoy. Again, they're not the oracle. They don't see the future. They're not necessarily right, but they're pretty good at predicting these things. And if you go and follow their Twitter and watch their, they're sharing every week their predictions on cryptos, and they're pretty accurate. So it's worth looking at. But he's just sharing here, some quotes here from Trump, and he said, "I will keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your Bitcoin." And then he said that video's gone viral on Crypto X. Every largely followed influencer is posting how bullish this is. Pay attention to what's being said by them all. I just added another confirmation for the drop post-elections. A high time frame bull trap would be the best, as every moon boy would be euphoric, shouting for the moon and get absolutely wrecked on a flash crash. Remember, you don't get told what will happen next and then you get it. Financial markets don't work like that. One more explosion in 2024 and then the drop begins. So it's pretty easy to interpret what they're saying, but they're saying that this is all coordinated use that we're hearing right now. Get an explosive run in this market, and then at the top of that run, when the euphoria is happening, that's when it's going to be really hard to sell, because you're going to see everywhere like, oh my god, this market's going to newer heights, and it won't necessarily go to those heights, and just overnight there could be a big downturn, and you could lose all your investment in that time, or all your paper profits in that time. So then we just see, loads of people are sharing this. I will ensure that the future crypto and future Bitcoin will be made in the USA. And we can see that Trump saying, I'll keep Elizabeth Warren away from your Bitcoin. But this is the thing is Trump, the way he's working is he just sees there's a whole, it's obvious what's going on with him. He just sees so many people are interested in crypto. If he talks this way, he'll just buy votes, and that's all he's looking to do. Don't believe a word that he says. The minute he gets into office, he won't care about crypto. And then Master and Money Tower said elites induce black swan event. So he's talking about why this would happen. Elites induce black swan event. They won't bleed the market slowly. They will sink sell while coming up with some bullshit to serve as the excuse for the crash, and reach for where liquidity is at on the markets, with most liquidity, and the SPX can't go up forever. It's been up only. And here's the real point here is that, a lot of you guys might hear elites and hear market manipulation and think that that's not true. It's absolutely true. These are all manipulated markets. When the markets dump, usually it's generally a coordinated sell-off, and then it's always disguised with a bit of news that says something like, Luna crashed, or the whole debacle around FTX, or whatever's going to be the next black swan event that we'll probably see at the start of 2025. And the sort of events that we're going to see all the way down through 2026 and a lot of 2027 as well during the next bear markets. So then Money Tower went on to say, Master went on to say, whatever they say publicly for the whole society to become aware of, ignore it. It's a trap 100% of the time. So what he's saying here is that whatever you hear publicly, so that the whole society can become aware of, it's always a trap 100% of the time. If you want to avoid the trap they're placing, you will need to brainstorm what the real intention is, because it isn't to make you rich. They want you poor. Try to think like a whale. Try to think, how would you wreck society once again? How to gaslight them all? How can you profit more while making them poor? Think like a whale. They're not against each other. It's whale versus the people. They sink, sell, and sink buy in the markets. No global event happens randomly. Understand the world you live in, or you will remain in the rat race for perpetuity, as you will keep falling in each and every trap whales place around you. And this, the real point here is, you got to see the traps being set up. And as these traps are being set up by whales, instead of buying into the hype, you've got to be counter trading, and trading against what the public has been told, because the public is always going to be like, oh my God, there's a new listing on Binance, let's buy. That's generally when you have to be counter trading. So it's an interesting thing. Again, I'm not saying that anything is 100% true, but it's interesting. It's a great way to look at the crypto markets and any market, not just crypto markets, any financial markets. And then Trump said, I'm very positive and open-minded cryptocurrency companies and all things related to this new and burgeoning industry. Our country must be the leader in the field. There is no second place. Crooked Joe Biden, on the other hand, is the worst president in the history of the country, wants it to die a slow and painful death. That will never happen with me. Yeah, that's rubbish. Trump will probably be talking about how he hates crypto in a couple of years. I mean, I'm pretty sure he was only saying that a couple of years ago. And this is just a signal for the market to pump. And reasons for the market pump. There's going to be a lot more reasons coming up, and basically it's all going to be off the back of whales will start pumping this market soon. And the way they'll pump this market is by buying loads of Bitcoin and buying loads of altcoins themselves. You're going to see those huge candle spikes coming, and on the back of that you're going to hear loads of good news about crypto. Then the average investors are going to jump in because they're going to hear, oh, Bitcoin is, flying up. Maybe it broke the whole 100,000 mark. And then as people are buying in, FOMOing in to buying crypto, that's when there's going to be a huge sell-off, and there's going to be some like rubbish news that's released to say the reason for the sell-off. And then this person just commented, he'll dance naked in front of the White House if he thinks it'll make people vote for him. And that's so true. I'm not saying just Trump's trying to pump the crypto markets. He's trying to just get into office. And that's, part of the disguise that will be used by whales to pump this market. So here's what I would do if this is how I'm going to, take profit on Qubic. And this is what I would do if I was you as well. again, not advice. You guys, probably most of you are cleverer than I am, so you can advise things your own way, but I'm just giving my own thoughts on this. So if I had a low amount of cubic, which is less than 1 billion cubic, that could go to a very high value over time. The way I would look at that is that probably you should be considering holding that cubic through this whole cycle. Just hold it all. I mean, unless it goes to some crazy number this cycle, then you should sell. But if I was you and I had less than 1 billion cubic, I would just hold on to that cubic for all of this cycle and wait for the next bull run. And one of two things is going to happen. Is Qubic's either going to deliver on what it's set out to do and what its objectives are, or it's going to fail. And if it delivers on what it's set out to do, the sky's the limit, and that small amount of cubic that you own could be worth a lot of money. And if it fails, you haven't lost a lot, really. That's probably the best way to do it, because holding for this cycle, and if it goes to the moon this cycle, that's fantastic. But waiting for kind of trying to sell it just on making a 10x or something like that, it's not really going to be worth your while. So that's what I would do if I had a low amount of cubic. Then this is the range that I fall into. So the mid between 1 to 10 billion, probably you'd want to be a bit higher than that 1 billion mark. But if you're holding this, and this is the way that I'm going to treat this market, is I'm going to wait for that kind of euphoria. First of all, if Qubic 10x's, I'm going to sell some Qubic. I just have to at that point. If it can 10x, I'm going to sell some. But maybe it won't 10x. I don't know. That's not guaranteed. But then the rest of the time, I'm going to judge the flow of the market, feel where it's going. And if around November, I feel like Qubic or the crypto market in general is hitting that euphoria phase, I'm going to sell 1 billion of my Qubic. So not going to sell all my Qubic, but I'm going to sell 1 billion of my Qubic at least. And then that'll put me in a good bit of profit. I'll cover all my costs. I won't feel as emotionally attached to the markets from that point on. And then, and this is always a flowing thought. It could be even 2 billion that I sell. But what I mean is, I'm just trying to think of how I would judge this. So, but I'm going to sell a share of the Qubic that I own anyway, and be out of it before that potential dump comes at the start of 2025. And then I want to hold some Qubic because I believe in it as a project. I want to see, will that next bull, another run happen in 2025? Could be even a higher one, or it could be the same level. And I'm going to keep some of that Qubic. I might ladder out some profits as we go, and then I'm going to keep some Qubic because I believe in it as a project, and hold it through the next bear market, and just see how it runs. And then if you've got a high amount of Qubic, so you've got 10 to 50 billion Qubic, firstly, I'm jealous of you if you've got that, but I know lots of you out there do have that. Firstly, you're probably much wiser about this sort of stuff than I am, so you tell me what you should do. But I imagine what you would do is, even when you see a 2x, you're going to sell a little bit of Qubic. Then when you get to something like a 5x, you'll probably sell a bit more. Then when you get to a 10x, you'll probably sell a bit more. Then you're probably going to see, can you catch the market top or close to it around November this year? I'd sell a little bit more. Then, ride it through, see in 2025, is there a bit more? But really, if I had this high amount, but what you should be looking to do, I think, is be selling half of this during this run, and then keeping another half potentially for 2025, but definitely be keeping some of it then for sky's the limit, hoping that Qubic delivers on what it's trying to do. And if it does, you could have a huge amount of it could be worth a lot by something like 2030. So it's worth holding. So the only situation where I'd say just hold all the way through is if you've got less than 1 billion Qubic, and just ride it out for as many cycles as you can until it's really worth something, and just play all or nothing with that. But with this, you got to be looking to take your your money off the table. Same with the mid-range strategy. Take your investment off the table, a nice bit of profit, and then hold the rest for seeing does Qubic actually deliver on what they set out to do. And then lastly, if you're a whale, so a whale, I guess I'm just regarding as someone who owns 50 billion plus Qubic. And man, I'm so jealous of someone that owns that. And the way the whales are probably thinking is even a 10%, and this is where you got to get in the mindset of how things work for whales, is even a 10% increase in the value of Qubic is something that they can sell profitably into. A doubling in the price of Qubic, and they could be making hundreds of thousands or millions just out of a double in the price. A 10x, it's insane how much that they'd be making out of that, and so on all the way up. So whales are always in the bowl of trying to catch market tops and bottoms, and they're really good at it, especially because they, in a coordinated way, can manipulate those tops and bottoms. So they'll buy at the bottom, they'll sell at the top, and then they'll push the price down again, and they keep doing that. And it's just a money printer for them, because we're basically just in a big Ponzi scheme. So that's what they do, and that's what they do with all the financial markets. It's all insider trading, really. It's all manipulated, really. It's just you and I, unless you're a whale listening to this, which I doubt, you and I are not part of that inner club, so we don't get to do it. So what we have to try and do is swim with whales and follow what they're doing and try and think like a whale. That's why, thinking like a whale, they're going to try and trick us and not have this cycle go exactly the way that people are expecting. And that's probably that when people start buying in around the end of 2024, they'll dump the market, or they'll dump when people are getting ready for the top of the bull run, and then maybe at the end of 2025 we'll see another bull run, just a quick one, to get everyone back in and get them excited, and then it'll dump again, and it'll probably dump for another couple of years. That's the way I imagine the whales working, but let's see what happens. I'd love to hear your thoughts, guys, because obviously, again, as I said, I'm not someone, I'm just guessing here. I'm just trying to figure it out and put things together. I'd love to hear your thoughts, because I can learn from you guys as well. And that's all. I'll see you all on the outside.